Let's see. I forgot to plug in my microphone too because I suck at this. Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl.
Where I am still trying to catch my breath from driving home today and
You
arriving like
literally
20
just
minutes
walked in the
ago.
door. Yeah, you did great. You're right on time.
Thanks.
I am Mandy of New York City.
And I'm Karin from Glimmer Falls.
Welcome back, ladies and gents,
Welcome
and
back. Oh my
all of our
gosh.
friends.
In our timeline, it is, let me check my notes, February 23rd. And in y'all's timeline, it is March 3rd.
That
Holy
seems
that's
not true.
that
That
sounds
seems
like
made up.
fake news. That sounds like
Yeah.
fake news. The math
Yeah.
isn't mathing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. I don't have any. I mean, if I had announcements, I didn't write them down because I am not prepared this week.
I don't think I have any either, so we can jump right into it. This week in fangirling, what did you do?
Well, I went on vacation, a little mini vacation we went to Disneyland for a day. We went to Disneyland on Sunday and we spent time with Heather and Joanna at Disneyland and we ate a lot of food and hung out there and that was fun. Nothing is popping out at me that is like super needs to be shared, but it was fun. I had a good time. I posted a lot to my stories, so if you
Mhm.
follow me on Instagram, you saw those.
She lunar loved us with lots of food.
I did. There was lots of food.
Mhm.
That's a big part of going to Disneyland for
Oh
us.
yeah, for sure.
And then we did a day at Universal in Hollywood. And so Super Nintendo World just opened in Hollywood, and you have to be in like the virtual queue. You have to get a reservation to
Mhm.
go into that section of the park. And when we got there, they said that there were no more times left for the virtual queue. And so we kind of like were standing around. It was me, my daughter, Heather, Joanna, and her boyfriend. And we were standing around trying to like figure out what to do. And we all had our phones open to the app and we're like, oh no, we can't get any reservations. And we were kind of sad. And then are they called cast members at Universal or team
I
members?
think they still are because it's the same vibe, right? It's
Okay.
still like a movie set behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
I'm gonna go with cast member. So a cast member named Adrian walked up and she's like, "Do you need any help?" And we're just kind of like, "Well, we were looking to see if there were like any reservations for Nintendo World." And she was kind of like talking and explaining like sometimes they open back up, usually around like 4 to 4:30. And as she's talking to us, I look down at my phone and see that the screen has changed, clicked on it, and got us a reservation for like 10 minutes later to go into
Hey.
Super Nintendo World. I'm like, I am the best mother ever. Happy birthday, my sweet girl. So we got to go into Super Nintendo World. It was very, very cool. There's so many details to take in. It was crazy, but it was packed,
I bet it
obviously.
was.
There were lines literally everywhere. You had to have a reservation to go into the little cafe, and by the time we got there, they were like all gone for the
Right, that's
day.
done.
And so we didn't get to do that. And then there's the one ride, which is it's like Mario Kart in like Bowser's Castle or whatnot. And it was a 75-minute wait, but my daughter really, really wanted to do it. And we were all like, well, we're here for you, so we're gonna do it. So we stood in line for 75 minutes. I will say that I feel like they took into account the fact that the opening would be insane and there would be insane lines. So a majority of the line was indoors. There was a lot of like decorative, Mario stuff.
Interactive stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I posted pictures of that as well.
Mhm.
And they had a water fountain for you to fill your water bottle up while you're in line. And I was like, the only thing they're missing is like food. Yeah, so it was really cool going through the line. I mean, it was really long, but there was a lot of stuff to look at. So that was cool. There was like a whole like library section, and so it was fun to look at like all the different books that
Yeah.
were
That
in
Mario
Bowser's
would have.
Castle. Yeah,
Or
so it was
Bowser would
fun.
have.
And it was the ride itself was fun. I don't think it was worth a 75-minute wait. But
Yeah.
you don't know until you try it. But
Right.
it was fun. It's the first like 3D virtual reality kind of game or kind of ride, kind of anything that takes into account people who wear glasses, because you usually have like 3D glasses, right? That you put on,
Right.
and it's kind of uncomfortable if you're a person who wears glasses. So what they have is like this little headband thing that you put on and you tighten, and it looks like Mario's hat. And then there's the 3D glasses, they snap onto that. So it's like a visor in front
Oh,
of your face. So
okay.
you're not actually wearing like,
Interesting.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And Joanna and her boyfriend both wear glasses. So it was like cool for them
Yeah.
too. She was like, it's
I
the
I was
first
trying to
thing.
picture ours because like we had 3D rides and I don't remember them being uncomfortable with glasses, but I
Yeah.
can see how a visor would be
Like you're not actually
ideal.
wearing 3D
Right.
glasses over your glasses. So I thought that was
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun. It was, it was Mario Kart. I think I read about it, and it's like there's various scenarios. So even if you ride it once, you don't get the
Ah,
same like ending. So that's cool as well. It's like a race like in Mario Kart, but obviously you don't actually have control of
right.
who's faster. So hence in the multiple scenarios. So for us, Team Mario won, but I'm sure there are scenarios where like Team Bowser
Right.
wins. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was fun.
It's very cute.
And then, of course, we ate at the Three Broomsticks. And then we took Tuesday off as like a recovery day. And Heather had to pack and clean for her trip. And then Wednesday, I had reservations to go with my daughter to Disneyland again. But we woke up and both kind of just felt like it was one of those days where you just don't want to do anything.
Right.
And even Disneyland, we were just like, nope, not wanting to do that drive, not wanting to go, be people-y. So we just stayed at Heather's. I worked on the podcast. My daughter watched movies all day. And it was
Oh.
a very chill, very relaxed day. And then we drove home today. I woke up at like 6:30 and got ready. And then my daughter woke up a little after 7:30, I want to say. And she got ready. And then we left around 8-ish and got home like 5:15, 5:20.
Like 10 minutes ago.
Like, yeah, like right before we basically right around the same time I would get home from work. So
Yeah. It worked out like
really
perfectly.
perfectly. Yeah. And so I was like, we got to get home. I'm recording tonight. And my daughter was a trooper. But yeah, that was pretty much my vacation in a nutshell. Before we went on vacation, I read an arc of A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. And it was so much fun. And it was cozy.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking about cozy fantasy because of R.K. Ashwick, and it felt pretty cozy to me as well. Or maybe I'm just starting to like see them as cozy because
Yeah.
Arrival Most Vile was so cozy. But it was fun. There's a witch, Mariel, who has been prophesied to be like the strongest witch in her bloodline that
Mhm.
they've seen in centuries, but she can't really like get the whole magic thing down. And then she tries to summon some flour because she was baking, and she accidentally summons a demon instead.
Whoops. That's not the same thing.
Not the same
That's
thing
not
at
a little
all.
close. Not even a
Not
little close.
Yeah, so the rules of like magic and summoning in this world are kind of like bizarre, even to like witches and stuff. Like the language that they use isn't like, you think of witchcraft and stuff, it's like Latin or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's like a mixture of languages, and there's a bunch of different grammatical rules like in English. So it basically just is hard to like wrap their minds around.
Right.
And she
How
just
to-
has
how
a
to get it
really
right and wrong.
Right, so she has a really difficult time with it. So she accidentally summons a demon, and his name is Ozrith the Ruthless, and he's got this like
Hey, sounds hot.
hmm And he's got this reputation for being like a really like, because he's a bargainer demon, so he like goes and makes bargains with mortals like witches to take their souls for whatever they want in exchange. And so he's got this reputation for being like a hard ass and really good at making bargains and like twisting their words in order to make it
Mhm.
more beneficial for the demons. But he had like a deal gone wrong, and he now accidentally has a soul. The soul that he was trying to take went into him. And so now he's trying to like get his reputation back by bargaining with Mariel, who has like a very bright soul because she's super powerful, and the soul is like
Right.
where witch's magic
Where you
lies.
hold it. Mhm.
And so he's trying to like get his reputation back by getting her soul, but she turns out is very attached to her soul, God knows why.
God.
And
Selfish.
she, in a fit of not wanting to like confess her blunder to her mom, blurts out that they are dating. And so now they have to like fake date while having these like opposite goals, and
Oh,
chaos
no.
ensues. It's so funny. It's so good. It's so funny. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the way Mariel is very like, reminds me of me as a kid, just kind of like sitting there and taking abuse from her parents. Not like physical abuse, but just like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be the
Emotional.
strongest witch in the centuries, and you can't even do a basic summoning spell,
Yeah.
kind of bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And so Mariel, kind of just sits back and take it. And Oz is like, why do you let them do this to you?
Yeah.
And, obviously, forced proximity means because since she summoned him by name, he's like required to take her soul, like make a bargain, or else he can't leave. And he has to be within a certain amount of distance of her because she's until they make a bargain. So it's like forced proximity, fake dating, enemies to
All
lovers,
of the things.
um,
Give
a,
me all of these
a
things.
super hot male demon love interest. Like it's everything you could ever want in a book. And
Right.
it's
Give me
so
all of it.
good.
Give me
It's
that.
so good. It's so funny. I highly recommend it. It comes out, I think, March something. I didn't write it down
March
because
something.
March 7th. March
So it's
7th.
close.
So it's coming out soon, but it's very good. I enjoyed it. And then I read Saint on my drive down. I agree. Like it's like not
It
exactly
doesn't
the
feel like a
same
full
vibe.
story. It doesn't feel
It's
like a full story to me.
and also like it doesn't feel like the same kind of vibes as Fable and Namesake.
No.
It also feels like Saint is a very different character than what
Yeah.
we've known him as. And I
Yeah.
know it's a prequel, so like obviously
He hasn't had the
things
life
changed him,
experiences.
but like he just seems so different like than what
Yeah.
he was later.
And I don't
And
want to talk shit, but it feels like almost half-assed. It felt all half-assed to me.
it felt like yeah, I don't know. Like I enjoyed it well enough because Saint
Right.
is hot, but like something about it just didn't feel right. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you because I
And
feel the exact
also,
same way.
I definitely was annoyed at the pronunciation of her name.
Right?
Like
Why?
who decided this? And actually what's really funny is that I guess this is not really funny, but as we know, I recently reread all of the 50 Shades books, and
Mhm.
I recently started the 50 Shades from Christian's perspective. And so because I'm a masochist apparently. And so in the 50 Shades from Anastasia's viewpoint, I listened to it on audiobook, and the stalker ex sub, her name, they pronounce her name as Layla. From Christian's viewpoint, this narrator pronounces it as Leela, and I'm like, why
We
did
don't
you not,
communicate.
right? Like did you not at least ask for a pronunciation guide? Like
Like,
what?
it's been kinda recently, Victoria Aveyard was on TikTok talking about she has, like it's almost like a show Bible or whatever, but it's for her books, and it's like, "This is what people are wearing, so I can remember what they're wearing," or "This is and this is a pronunciation guide." Like, do you not communicate with the author and be like, "Hey, what did you mean for how did you mean for this name to be
Yeah.
pronounced?"
And I've seen an audiobook narrator on TikTok who shows up on my FYP a few times, and then I follow an audiobook narrator on Instagram, and she once posted like a video of like a day in the life of an audiobook narrator where she's like, okay, here's my pronunciation guide. Let me listen to it and make sure I know how they're pronounced. Like,
Yeah.
why is that should be a standard
That
thing?
should absolutely be a thing.
Especially if it's across multiple books, like in a
Yeah.
series.
Because
So
it still irks me if I think
it
about it. I'm like, ugh.
every time that they said Isolde in Saints, which I know should be the correct
Yeah.
pronunciation, my brain automatically corrected to Isolde because that's what I've been
Yeah.
hearing for 2 books.
And
Even
see,
though
in the first 2 books, every time I heard Isolde, it was like,
well, in the
I
first 2
hate
books,
it.
I didn't realize because I was listening to it on audiobook and I hadn't seen it written out. I didn't realize that it was spelled like Isolde, so it didn't
Yeah.
bother me. And then once I realized that it was Isolde and they're pronouncing Isolde, I'm like, what the fuck?
Why are you doing this to us?
Why? And then to
Yeah.
have him change it for Saint, I can't even. I was really hoping that there was going to be some like really dumb explanation, but there
Right.
never was. There
Nope.
never was. It was just annoying. So, yeah, that was fun times. And then on my drive home just today, I listened to The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, which has been on my list for quite some time, and I've had it like borrowed from the library for forever. And I finally was like, I'm just gonna listen to it now. And it's really good. It's also another, so it's obviously there's a bodyguard, but she's the bodyguard for him.
Oh.
And he's like this super famous movie star, and she's like this 5'5" little thing, but like is super good at her job. Like she's the best at the company that she's at.
Doing.
Yeah, so she's like at the top of the list of people who like works at her agency. And basically he's a super big movie star who's been like a recluse for the past several years since his younger brother died. But now his mom has been diagnosed with cancer, so he's come back to like their ranch in Texas to like spend time with her while she gets surgery and goes through all of that stuff. And so her firm is hired as his protection detail. And because his mom is like, well, I need you to do one thing for me. And he's like, of course, whatever it is. And she's like, I need you to move in for the next 4 weeks until Thanksgiving. You and your girlfriend, because they're pretending she's his girlfriend to be like, to not worry his mom as she's going through this cancer stuff. And so they have to like move in together at the ranch, and it's fake dating and it's forced proximity, and she's the bodyguard and he falls first. And it's just,
I love a he falls first. That's one of my favorite tropes.
I do too. And it's like so,
love it.
It's so subtle. Like there's nobody outright says it. Like nobody talks about their stupid emotions, but like in his actions, you can tell that he like falls first. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good. And the way that it's written, it's like she's telling us a story. Like she's talking to somebody. It's not like most books where they just kind of describe the action that's happening. It's like she's talking to you. So I thought that was pretty fun, and it's good. And there is like a climactic scene, of course, that feels like it should be super extra high stress, and it kind of is, but also at the same time, I'm like, why are you so dumb? Like, he's clearly...
Why are you doing this? He's into you.
No, it's like, okay, so it's like, he's very clearly... So he's an actor. He's very clearly acting in a way to get her to react in a certain way, and she's like not getting it. And I'm sitting here like rolling my eyes, like, how are you so dumb? Like, girl, what are you doing? And then she eventually like figures it out. Like she realized, she like goes through the moment, and she like has a literal light bulb moment. She's like, wait a second. And then she reevaluates. She like reevaluates. I'm like, what took you so long? I knew from the second he opened the door.
Right.
So
welcome to where the rest of us are. You're caught up now.
So yeah, that was what I read. And then I of course watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which we are not talking about yet.
We can't talk about that because I haven't seen it. I'm going, I think, tomorrow.
But I liked it. And then I think last week I said that we were continuing Heather's Marvel education, which I thought we were on WandaVision. Actually, we finished WandaVision the last time I was down. So we watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in its entirety, and they're so beautiful. So good. good, but that is such a beautiful man. And freaking made me so angry staring at John Walker.
I know.
I forgot how angry he makes me.
I need him to play somebody good. I
Mhm.
want to love you. I don't, but I want to.
I know, me too. I want him to be like a good guy, but ugh. And then my daughter wanted to watch Lightyear, so we did, and
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it. It was not at all what I was expecting, and I also definitely rolled my eyes at the people who were like upset about the whole lesbian of it all.
Oh my God. It's
Like,
always stupid.
it is literally like a 1.5 second kiss
Yeah.
of animated characters, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like, okay, are you mad at the kiss, or are you mad at them just existing? Because
What was
that's
there was another movie that came out recently where it was the character had two moms and the mom just like leans in
oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was
and people lost their minds and it's like
yeah, they lost
if
their
you
minds.
blink you miss it. Like it's not like a
They didn't
whole part of
even
the plot. Like it was
yeah,
just
they didn't
like
even kiss or
yeah,
anything. They were just like
it was
supporting.
it wasn't Ms. Marvel. It was
Oh my God.
yes, it was in Multiverse of Madness.
Was it? Was it?
Did America have two moms?
Yes, that's what it is. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
And
they
it's like a
like
flashback or something to how
and
she like
and
got
all she did was
separated.
like hold the like
Yeah, hold them or something. It was
yeah,
so
like it
stupid that
was the
people got upset
stupidest
about it.
thing. Yeah, you're right. You're
Seems like
right.
the same vibe where it's like you're mad about that. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's totally the same vibe. But it was a fun movie. There was a part, and this isn't a spoiler. It's just me remembering the stupidest shit because of who I am. There was a part where one of the characters says to Buzz Lightyear, she's like, "On your right," and I started laughing. I bust out laughing, and my daughter was like, "What?" And I was like, "She should have said on your
On your
left."
left.
And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Because Chris Evans plays Buzz Lightyear and he's Captain America and he always said on your left to sit." And she was like, "Mommy, you're weird."
Yeah. One day you'll be this weird kid.
Yeah, for sure.
One
So,
day.
yeah, so that's just the most thorough. Like, I don't even know what was happening in that moment. I just remember the line and laughing
Yeah.
so hard at it because that's how my brain works. So that was my week. That's everything that I wrote down slash remember. So that's what I'm gonna go with. It's been a weird week,
Yeah.
crazy week for me. So we're gonna go with that. How about you? Tell me about your week.
Okay, so this week I went to Orlando to go to Heart Support Fest. It was a 2-day music festival that was primarily metal bands that some of them don't really tour very often anymore. That got back together for this is a charity event that supports Heart Support, which is like a mental health awareness organization. So that was fun. It was my niece's first music festival. So we had a good time. We got an Airbnb. My bestie had found like a hotel across the street from the fairgrounds. Thank God it's sold out. And so we were like, we're Airbnb people. Like, I know people hate the Airbnb person, but like, we're Airbnb people. And we were like, look, all of the hotels are for one room, and there's 6 of us. One room for 4 people are more than an Airbnb for a whole house would be. So we got it was about 45 minutes away. But the first morning when we're like waking up, getting ready to go to the music festival, I see like a post in the music festival Facebook group where people are like, is anybody staying in this hotel because we have roaches? And another person was like, yes, I'm here and there's blood in my room. And another
Oh
person was
my
like,
God.
I am active duty military and I left in the middle of the night because it smelled so much of weed that I was afraid that like I was going to inhale it and get random drug tested and like get kicked out of the military because there's a zero tolerance policy. So I
Oh my
literally checked out in the middle
God.
of the night. So I was like, thank God for our clean Airbnb. We're not dealing with any of that. We just have to drive a little bit, which was fine. The trip, though, it was this cursed trip. This cursed trip. We got on the road kind of late. George Bailey had some seizures, so I was stressed about leaving him. We had a time finding lodging. We ended up, like I said, having to stay like 45 minutes away. With traffic in Orlando, that's like an hour of driving. On the way down there, we are just trying to get to Trader Sam's Tiki Bar because we're like, we're going to go straight there. Then we'll go to the Airbnb. Festival doesn't start until 1 tomorrow, so we can have a couple of drinks, be on Disney property, and just exist for a few minutes. And we stopped at like a gas station, or no, it was a Starbucks. We stopped at Starbucks in Valdosta, which is not quite halfway. And Josh is like, I need you to drive for a little bit. I'm kind of tired. So I take over, and I notice that I'm getting closer to Trader Sam's, but my time to get to Trader Sam's keeps going up. So
Oh
I'm like,
boy.
okay, that's traffic. It's Florida on a Friday. So it's like 8:30. It gets dark, and it's not raining. It's like sprinkled a little bit, and the ground is wet, but it wasn't like storming or anything like that. And then we keep coming up on like bumper to bumper traffic, and it's like constant stop and go. You get a nosebleed if you go more than 10 miles per hour. So we get to Gainesville, which is, we had about 2 hours left until we got to Trader Sam's, and we're parked on the interstate, and we're just
boy.
sitting there, and we get hit from behind.
Ugh.
So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding. The guy behind us we were in a Bronco, which is my husband's car. And the guy behind us was in an F-350. He was pulling a trailer. He says he braked, but he slid, or hydroplane, whatever. He hit us. Thankfully, the most important thing, no one was hurt. He called his insurance first thing Monday morning. They called us. They've already, like, everything's getting fixed. There's no like drama
That's
surrounding it, except for that we were scared to open, because it like his whole back hatch is going to have to be replaced, like the whole door
Yeah.
and a tail light. We were scared to open it because we were like, we won't be able to close it again.
Oh.
So like all of our luggage, we had to fold the back seats down and pull out. Which was fine. I mean, it was fine. I'd rather do that than have had somebody get hurt.
Yeah.
We did make it to Trader Sam's, thankfully. We made it like 20 minutes before last call. So we got I got a tiki rum. I think my husband had 2 tiki rums. We got noodles from Captain Cook's. We got tacos and dumplings from Trader Sam's, and it was just like, this alcohol could not come at a better time. And before anybody we were very responsible. We sat there for a while. It was 1 alcoholic beverage for me. I was the driver. So I sat there and I ate enough carbs that I wasn't driving under any influence.
Yeah.
But I needed my tiki rum. Okay. My bestie started having some health problems. She didn't end up going to the festival the first day because she felt so bad. She went to a med stop, and at first they were like, I don't want to like spill her business, but at first they were like, girly, we might be sending you to the hospital.
Oh,
and then they were like, nah, you're fine. You can go to the festival tomorrow, and just when you get home, like, talk to your doctor about some of this stuff.
Yikes.
And she's fine.
Oh,
but
good.
yeah, so it was like, my God, this cursed trip.
Oh
like,
my God.
What is wrong with this trip?
That's terrible. I'm glad everybody's okay though.
Yeah,
Jesus
everybody's
Christ.
okay. Everybody's home now. Anybody who needs to has seen a doctor, and everything is fine. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. We, on the way home, stopped and got to have lunch with my father-in-law. It was dinner. It was like lunch dinner with my father-in-law, who lives like in northern Florida. And then we came home, dropped the twins off. I should also mention that we were rear-ended on their 14th birthday.
What a way.
I know.
To
as soon as it happened, and as soon as like I knew they were okay, and I had called like to have the Florida DOT come out and like do whatever they needed to do to like document the accident.
Right.
I called their dad, of course, and I was like, look, they're fine, but I do want to tell you, like, we were, and because they were okay, he laughed it off, and he was like, they're never gonna forget their 14th birthday.
No, they won't.
No, I don't want to say they got into a mosh pit, because they didn't, but they got kind of up close to their first mosh pit. Josh and our friend Kyle took them like close to where the mosh pit for Spirit Box was, which is the band that they were most excited to see. We got to embarrass them a little bit, because no doubt, like we did when we were 16 at concerts, singing and dancing and all of that, and they were just like, oh my God. I was like, listen, one day this is gonna be you, okay, and you're just gonna feel like you're in your glory days. or want to revisit your glory days.
Yeah.
So on the way down there, I wanted to, when I was driving, I had to I have to listen to a book. I could listen to music, but I wanted to listen to a book. But because they're teenagers, they're sneaky. So I can't listen to anything too grown up because they'll have their AirPods in, but be listening to my book. And it's like, I don't want to encourage,
Yeah.
So I've got the physical book here. I listened to What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera.
Yay.
I like when we add Becky Albertalli because the endings don't devastate you so much. I feel like it's because of Becky Albertalli that I didn't want to leap from a bridge when I finished this book. It has a sad but hopeful ending, which no other Silvera book I read had that.
There's a sequel, right?
Yeah, I finished this today, so I'll start the sequel probably tomorrow.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I love it.
So it follows Arthur and Ben, who have like a little meet cute in a post office. I think Arthur is there to mail a box. You remember in Gilmore Girls where Rory had like a Dean box and it was like all of the stuff from her ex? He has one of those for Hudson, his ex-boyfriend, and he's trying to mail it all back to him because he's like, I can't like give it to you in person. Like,
right.
Whatever.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, then there's Ben, who is a little taste of home for me, is in New York City for the summer, lives in Georgia. His mom is an attorney. And so she's working at her law firm's New York office for the summer. He's interning, and I can't really remember what his dad was doing. They're staying in his uncle Milton's apartment. So Ben and Arthur have this like meet cute where they have like a really quirky interaction. And then suddenly there's like a flash mob proposal in the middle of the post office, and they get separated. Office? I think it was the girl who worked there got proposed to, but there's like a marching band that comes in. It's it was like a whole big romantic gesture.
Okay.
But they like disappear, like each disappears from the other, and they both are like joke about to like their friends or their family going on like Craigslist misconnections and blah blah blah, and one of them ends up doing something similar and they find each other. And this book is chock full of Hamilton references. Yes. Harry Potter, which at Y'all Fest, Adam was talking about how they wrote this before J.K. Rowling revealed that she's a monster. So all of the Harry Potter references are gone in the sequel.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's like, we didn't know. Just like when I got this tattoo, I didn't know.
Right.
So he's like, they don't talk about Harry Potter anymore. But yeah, lots of Hamilton references, lots of Lin-Manuel Miranda references.
Immediately to the top of my list. Immediately to the top of my list.
Freaking cute. I loved it. I really loved it. So yeah, very, very precious. Bump this up to the top of your list. And
top of my
it'll
list.
be for anybody who hasn't read an Adam Silvera book, this is a dip your toes into. You're not going to feel the pain.
I was going to say, this feels like a good intro to Silvera rather than starting with they both die at the end.
Albertalli, I think she's the reason for that. But yeah.
Bless her.
Very hopeful, very sweet. They have their little picture in here. They're so cute.
Aww, love.
Yeah. So actually, I think she's doing an event in the next couple of weeks, and Adam has signed this one. That's not the right page. I may see if I can go get her to sign it too.
Yeah. I feel like I saw like an ARC request for her or an event for her. I don't remember, but I've seen her name recently, and I was like, oh, I know her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know her, but I know that name.
I know of her. Yeah.
Good to know that she's a good influence.
Yeah, she seems because oh my God, I was ready for one of them to step off a cliff not realizing what they're doing and die.
Right, you're like, I'm anxious. Silvera. I'm anxious.
Yeah, the whole book I was like, something awful. And at one point there is a moment where, and I don't want to spoil it, but there is a moment where something really scary happens to somebody, and it's like, oh, this is the Silvera.
Oh no.
But it ends up being okay, but it's like,
okay.
No, he's not gonna do this to me. So when I wasn't driving, when I was being the passenger princess that I was born to be, I started reading my arc of Marvelous by Molly Greeley. It
Yeah.
comes out Tuesday.
Okay.
It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it is also like a historically accurate account of, let me get the name. It's
Okay.
Antoinette. What's her last name? Oh my God, there's 1,000 pages. Antoinetta is at the court of the Lady Isabella Pallavicina, the Honorable Marchesa of Saragna. So in like the 1500s, there were some people who were born with a condition that like made them have like hair all over their bodies. And it is one of them was owned by like Queen Catherine de Medici. And so it is thought that the origins of Beauty and the Beast as we know it was based on Pedro is a man who's like covered in fur, and Catherine, another Catherine, not the queen, Catherine, is like sold to her, and Catherine, the queen, is like, y'all are gonna get married. So it's the
Oh.
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And they end up having
Okay.
children, and their daughter, I think their daughter Antoinette is sent back to another, I don't really know yet. I haven't really gotten that far.
Mhm.
But it said that they think that this family is the origin.
Oh, it
I'm
sounds
in
so good.
I'm enjoying it, but it is a lot of prose. A
Mm.
lot. So much so that like 10 pages took me like half an hour.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's gonna be I think I'm gonna
Oh,
try and do like 50 pages a day
yeah.
instead of like
Hopefully it
trying to
picks
like
up.
sprint. It's interesting. It's just like, let me read you the first sentence just to give you an example. Let me find it. I'm gonna read you the first paragraph. It's 3 sentences. It happens in the trembling time between night and day, long after the passing of midnight, but well before the cock wakes to crow. The waiting hours, the witching hours, a fitting time for a man long assumed to be born of witchcraft to die.
Oh dear.
So it's like, it's beautiful. It's
It
beautifully
is.
written, but it's hard
It's
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comprehend quickly.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This feels like when I was in high school, I had a fantastic English teacher, Miss Murphy, when I was in British Lit. It was senior year. And she was like, if you struggle with like any story that's written like in an older style, write out a bulleted list of like the plot points while you're reading it, and that will help you. I feel like I need to write a bulleted
Oh
list of this. But I think that it's something that I will really enjoy. It's just going to
Mhm.
be like a time
Yeah.
devotion.
It's gonna be one of those
Um,
things you have to spread out.
yeah.
It's a
And
marathon, not a
then
race.
yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I don't think I will finish it by pub day, but it's not one that I have from NetGalley. I got this directly from the author anyways,
Yep.
so it's not, nobody's
Yeah.
waiting on a review. I'll still post about it day of with I think it's a beautiful book already. So I'll, anyways. And then because I was like, I can't spend, a 5-hour car ride reading 50 pages of this book. I got a book that I'm going to blast through, The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I got an arc of that.
Yay.
So the premise of this book is that you have Fizzy, I think her last name is Chen. Fizzy Chen is a romance author. And then you've got Connor, I can't remember his last name, who is he's like a TV developer. So he wants to do like moving pieces. So he wants to make like documentaries to help bring awareness to endangered species. And like he wants to make the world a better place with his filmmaking. But he works for a small production company who is like, bro, we're not giving you money for this when reality TV is king right now. We want a trashy dating show.
Ugh.
So he has this little girl and he has an ex-wife who he's like amicable with, and she is like a Fizzy super fan. She's got all of her books, loves her. And so there also is this whole extra thing about Fizzy's best friend has married this guy who created, it's similar to Lunar Love, kind of similar like vibe. He's created this thing where you do like a DNA test like you would for like Ancestry or one, what is it, 123andMe, but it's a dating app that like uses your DNA to see how compatible you would be with someone else. So this guy gets this idea to take a romance author who like knows her stuff when it comes to romance, even though it's revealed in like the prelude, before the book even begins, that she's kind of lost her mojo and she's kind of in like a really deep
Mhm.
depression that she's trying to fake her way out of. So he wants to make her the star of this reality show, and he wants to let half of the contestants contestants be like DNA matches that would be good, and the other half be determined by like call this 800 number and tell us who you want to be voted out this week. And he wants to see if viewers know better than science.
Okay.
And so my favorite thing though, I've already highlighted it because I freaking died when I was reading this last night. He approaches her, and at first she's like, I'm not doing this. This is so stupid. Well, then she overhears him. She doesn't realize it, but he's repeating what his boss said. He was like, we have to have someone female shaped to star in this. And he hates it. He's like British and very polite and all of that. So he's like, I hate this guy and I hate this mentality. She doesn't realize that. She walks in and as he's saying, well, we need someone female shaped. So she's like, all right, I'm going to send you over my list of demands. And if you can meet them all, then fine. Her list of demands is like for the contestant. She's like, I need a himbo. Hold on. Let me find the other one. I can't remember now. One of them was, I think one of them was a DILF. And then, hold on.
I feel that.
Yeah, you'll feel this other one even more. He says, what the hell does cinnamon roll have to do with casting? And he's reading this list to his ex-wife, who's one of us. And so she's like cackling, losing her mind.
That's amazing.
So she's going down like the list of tropes that we love. And he's like, what the hell is a himbo? What's a cinnamon roll? What is going on? A vampire? Really?
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then it's kind of setting up right now, and I'm very early in the book, but they kind of get off on the wrong foot because of the whole female shaped thing. And she ends up kind of smart assedly telling him that she's kind of lost her mojo. And he's like, I have no passion for this project either. I'm just doing this so that they'll take me more seriously and let me do projects that I want later. And she's like, all right, I'll sign your contract, but we have to, while we're filming this, we have to do things together to try and find joy.
They're gonna fall in love is what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
Obviously.
I'm like, you're a romance writer and you don't see that coming.
Obviously. Girlfriend.
This is forced proximity kind of. This is a little bit of enemies to lovers.
Girlfriend.
I smell romance.
They're gonna fall in love. That's the joy they find is in each other.
Yep. So I'm really excited. I will probably, my husband is doing a lot of filming for his project for Searchers and all of that this weekend. I will probably finish that tomorrow night.
Excellent.
If I had to guess. And then I caught up on Abbott Elementary.
Yay. Precious.
I'm still like head over heels in a friendly way for Jacob. I want him to be like a real person so bad because perfect gay best friend. Like I want one. Give me that. And I think that was my week. I didn't do a whole lot because of traveling, and then I brought home a TMJ headache. My husband brought home a sinus infection. So we've just been trying to get through our days and go to bed.
Trying to survive.
Yeah. We're just trying to keep our heads above water over here.
That's fair. All right. Well, how about you tell me about your fictional boyfriend of the week?
Well, it's gonna be Connor from The Love Experiment because he is tall and British.
And enough said.
I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. I know I did it with Aaron Warner, who's my most favorite. Half the time I picture like one actor or like one person for this character, but then the other half the time he looks completely different. And I don't know why. So half the time, do you know who Matt and Omar are on TikTok?
Are they the ones who they do the like, do you watch this? And then they repeat the scene.
I don't think so. Let me look. Now I'm second guessing. These two are a couple.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I've never actually watched a ton of the ones that I'm thinking of.
One of them's English.
Okay,
I'm going to try and show you what they look like.
Maybe? I don't know.
I'm going to send you one of them.
Okay.
So when you get a random TikTok from me, like it's just that I'm showing you what they look like. So one of them is like a white American guy and the other is like a South Asian, but he's English guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one is Matt and which. I think Omar is the South Asian guy. I picture him sometimes because I've seen so many of their videos lately and I have the English accent in my head. And she talks about how he has such a great head of hair and this guy like perfect head of hair. And he's so handsome. Like he's so good looking.
It's giving me Tan France vibes.
Yes, very,
Okay.
very. He does resemble Tan.
Okay.
Like not identical or anything like that, but they do have very similar vibes,
Okay.
stature and everything. But then the other half, because he's like a tall British darling, it's Tom Hiddleston too. So it's like you go from like ginger white guy to like not at all ginger white guy. And I'm going back and forth. I'll settle on one of them eventually. And
That's
that'll be,
funny. I love
but
it.
I already love him. I already do. Oh my God. I love Connor. I'm sure he'll be my boyfriend next week too.
Perfect.
What about you?
Well, we're gonna go with, I'm gonna have two. One is gonna be Oz or Ozra from A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. One, hot demon. And
Mhm.
two, he's like, even though he's a demon with a soul, and he makes Mariel stand up for herself, which I love. Like, she's
Mhm.
so like mousy and is like just kind of takes whatever is thrown at her and doesn't ever stand up for herself. And he's like, why? Why do you do that?
Right.
And I love it. And I love the way that his story ends in this book, and it's very good. And he's excellent. But the other one is, of course, Bucky Barnes, because I rewatched
You
The
don't
Falcon
like
and the Winter Soldier.
Bucky.
I mean, how could I watch anything with Bucky in it and have him not be my fictional boyfriend? Obviously.
Good point.
Yeah, he's so pretty. He's so
He really
pretty.
is. That's a pretty, pretty man.
It's a pretty, pretty man. Sebastian Stan just had a new movie come out on the twins' birthday, actually, and I haven't watched it yet because I've been on vacation. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch that. But yeah, those are my fictional boyfriends this week.
Do you have anything to show for where your money went, or have you not unpacked it yet?
I do actually. I purposefully unpacked that stuff and my computer, and that was pretty much it. So we went to Disney. Surprisingly enough, I didn't actually buy anything at Disney this time, but it's because Heather went and bought all the stuff for me.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it was Lunar New Year stuff, and it literally Lunar New Year ended on the 15th and we went on the 19th.
Yeah.
So that was very rude of Disney, and this is like the second time that they've done this to me, where they have purposefully ended it right before the weekend I come up. They do it on purpose because they hate
Rude.
me.
This
That's
is the
very
stuff
rude.
I was frantically sending you pictures of when I was at Disney a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, do you have this? Do you need this?
So it's not everything, because Heather has some of it still and she didn't know where she put it. So there will be more coming. But what I do have so far. So this is actually from like late last year. It's the Oogie Boogie Bash pin.
Aw.
She picked that up for me. I don't know why I didn't get it when I was there, but she got it for me. So there's that. And then a Lunar New Year pin with Oswald
Cute.
and the lantern. We've got a pair of ears, of course. They're very cute. There's Judy. And is
The white
that
rabbit.
just the white rabbit? I was like, that's the white rabbit, right? And then there's more bunnies on the back because it's the year of the rabbit.
Oh, rabbit.
And then we've got this very cute little wallet.
That is really cute. We didn't see the wallet, I don't think.
And, of course, the matching Loungefly.
My mom had to have that. She was like, this envelope is so pretty. I had to tell her all about like the red envelope.
So cute. So it's got the
Yeah.
little red envelope, and it's a convertible, so you can wear it as a crossbody or as a backpack, which is so cool, and it's just so pretty. Like, and then there's a little rabbit on the back.
On the back.
I love it so much. So I'm very excited to have those. And then that's what I brought home from Disney, aka Heather's house. And then at Universal, so primarily we go to Wizarding World and then we go to Super Silly Fun Land. That's where we go when we go to Universal. And so while my daughter was playing on the playground at Super Silly Fun Land, we went inside the little shop, and I found this on clearance.
Oh, cute.
It's a little racerback tank top, and it's a minion with little rabbit ears and carrots, and it's the Lunar New Year shirt. So I was
That's
like,
really
that's cute. And it's a racerback tank top. I'll absolutely wear that. And then they had a new sipper at Universal, which was a little pumpkin juice.
Oh my God, that's precious.
Isn't it cute? So it's like a little water bottle with a straw, and it's very cute.
I love that.
It's very cute. And anybody who knows me knows that I am a slut for pumpkin spice, like everything. So this is very on brand for me. So that's what I
Very
got at
cute.
Universal. And then I came home to 7 packages. Which all of which I opened with Mandy. There's one sitting right there that is not open, but I know exactly what it is, and I will show y'all next week. But let me show you what I got, even though Mandy's already seen it.
It's okay.
Everybody else needs to see it. So I talked about it last week, and I got the books from the Facebook group. It's With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, which is very, very pretty. And as we discovered, has the coolest little hidden cover.
It is so pretty.
It's so pretty. I can't wait to read this. It looks stunning. I remember reading the synopsis and really thinking it was going to be great, so I'm really excited. And then an arc of Blaine for the Win. It's
Very, very cute.
I love this book so much. And then I got my signed Waterstones exclusive edition of Song of Silver, Flame Like
Gorgeous.
Night by Amli Wen Zhao. It's very pretty.
Very,
It's
very pretty.
orange sprayed edges. I love this cover. I literally cannot decide if I love this cover or the US cover better. I think they're both so perfect. So yes, very exciting. And then I got an arc of ICU Survivor by, oh gosh, Liz Ianelli. I hope I'm saying that right. With Brett Witter. And you also got one of these from Hachette. I'm very excited about this.
I know.
I feel like I shouldn't be excited because like part of it sounds like it might be sad, but also like
it's gonna be sad.
I think
Important.
this kind of stuff is important. And speaking of important stuff, Miseducated, a memoir by Brandon P. Fleming. I read the back of it and it sounds so inspiring and perfect for like Black History Month. So thank you so much to Hachette for sending me these. I can't wait to dive in. I have so many to read, but I can't wait. And then Forever, my loves over at Forever are the best. And they sent me a finished copy of Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. I have been wanting to read this book since I first heard about it. I haven't read their other book, which is, I think it's Love and Other Disasters, but that one also looks really amazing. So I'm probably going to go read that one and then read this one because if there are cameos, I want to know.
Right, that's true.
That's how I feel about this is why a lot of times I read things in like pub date order because I'm like, what if there's cameos? What if there's cameos? So that's part of my neuroses. The other part is just because I'm neurotic. So yes, that's where my money kind of went. And also people send me stuff kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all the stuff that I have to show you this week for now. Show me where your money went.
A lot of money went to Heart Support Fest because they had a BS no outside food or drinks policy and their food was $1 million.
Oh my god.
It was so silly.
Rude.
Some of the food was good, some of the food was not. I got a Census Fail t-shirt, I got a Rise Against hat, and we got merch for the kids. My husband got some records. I don't have any of that up here. I got my Stardust in the Ashes swag box, which I posted an unboxing on TikTok if you want to see what all was in there.
I also got that before I left on vacation. I don't know where I put it though.
Yeah.
But it's here, it exists, and it's amazing.
It's okay. Go look on TikTok. It's on there. Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good box. Then Lit Joy Crate is got like a partnership with Victoria Aveyard right now for the Red Queen series. And my brother's girlfriend is currently listening to Red Queen. So I got us each a set of Mare's earrings. Ooh. So in the books, she has like an earring for each one of her brothers that she puts in. And she just like pierces her own ear with like a stone that represents like the people that she loves the most. And then she's got like a best friend from home, which is who I shipped her with. And she ends up like adding stones, and so they did their take on it, which is like an arched one long earring. That. So I had a bunch of Lunicorn points, so I think I spent like $6 cash on both of these. So I got a set for her downstairs. I got 2 books from Hachette. I got ICU Survivor, which Karin got too, and then I got If We're Being Honest by Cat Shook, which came with stickers, one of which is of the dog.
So jealous. Oh my gosh, how cute. So cute.
And then our friend Angie enabled me. Okay.
She's an enabler. She's a major enabler.
Thrift Books was having
Oh my god.
a secret sale.
Oh my god.
$2.99 books. And I frantically went on and got the $2.99 books. So
all of
I'm
them,
just
you
gonna go
bought
down.
every single one.
No.
You bought every
Ugh.
single $2.99 book. That's what it looks
It
like.
looks like it, but there was like 300. Some of them, a lot of them were like junky books that nobody wants, like How to Speak Italian If You're Going to Venice Only. Or something like that. I don't know.
Okay,
I made that up, but there were some books that were like, you can tell they're just trying to get rid of this.
Okay.
All right. I got You're on an Airplane by Parker Posey. She is the Where Are My TikToks girl from You've Got Mail and a bunch of other things. So it's like a memoir for $3. I will take it. I got Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Belfour. I think it's gay.
It looks gay.
I got Cemetery Boys, which we know is gay.
Yes.
I got 2 copies of Your Second Act by Patricia Heaton because I got one for my mom. She's on the middle, and everybody loves
Yeah,
Raymond.
I know her.
And my mom loves her, and I love her. So got those for $3.
Awesome.
I got What's Not to Love by Emily Wibberley and Austin Stigman Broca because they wrote, I think it's called The Roughest Draft.
I was just going to
which
say
is
that.
a Once Upon a Book Club, and I'm going to read anything they write because I loved The Roughest Draft. It was my favorite Once Upon a Book Club box I've ever gotten, I think, so far. I got The Charm Offensive by Allison Cochran.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
In Another Time by Gillian Cantor.
Ooh.
Takes place in Germany between 1931 and 1946. And I got Self-Made Boys by Anna Marie McLemore, which is a Great Gatsby retelling and like twisted a little bit, a remix, a Great Gatsby remix. And I know that people will say it's basic and whatever. I love The Great Gatsby. Okay, I do. I think it's romantic. It's one of my favorite books. If you don't like that, you can suck it. I love it. And so I'll love a remix.
If you're basic for liking The Great Gatsby, then what does that say about me and my pumpkin spice? I'm just saying.
Fair.
So
I mean, I get it. Like everybody likes to roll their eyes at The Great Gatsby, but I like it. I like that. I think it's romantic that Daisy is always going to be his American dream. I think it's heartbreaking that she's always going to be with Tom. It's sad. I love it. I love it. I think it's beautiful. That's where my money went.
Okay.
And I didn't spend any money. I forgot to say this in what we were doing this week, but I've been back in Dreamlight Valley.
I have to tell you, I completely forgot about it. So Heather wanted this Harvey's purse that was going on sale on Monday at Disneyland, and we had to be there at like rope drop. And so we got up, we went, and we were sitting out, and she had gotten it at like midnight on Shop Disney, but she had to go because she had her reservation and she didn't want to get a no-show. And so we went, and my daughter and I are sitting down waiting for her to come back after checking in. She walks back to me and she's like, apparently my reservation was canceled. And I was like, so you mean that I could be at Universal right now in Super Mario World? And she was like, I'm sorry, I'll buy you whatever you want at Universal. And I was like, can we go to Barnes and Noble instead? So she owes me a book. So we haven't gotten
I
that.
feel bad for her.
Well, there was a whole thing, and I can explain it later. But yeah, it was not a bad thing. It was just like,
okay.
God damn it, we could have been at Universal.
I got Mirabelle in my village on Dreamlight Valley.
Nice.
Mirabelle has showed up now, and I'm waiting on Stitch. Stitch is gonna show up. He's eating people's socks, but he hasn't like appeared as himself yet. But I'm like, Stitch, I'm on to you. You're the only villager I don't have.
All right. So that sound means we have an intruder alert.
Intruders! We have 2 intruders today.
Yeah, this week we have 2. Welcome to the podcast to Vivian Chang and Eugenia Yo, who are the author-illustrator duo of This Is Not My Home.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome. I am so excited to talk with you guys. Meeting you guys back in... how long ago was it now? Back in
January, end of January.
Oh my gosh. Was it really that long ago?
It's been
I feel like that's crazy, which means the book has been out for about a month now. How are y'all feeling?
I feel like I've lost track of time. Like 1 month ago, like I don't remember what I did this weekend. It's all really just a blur.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting because all of our events and all of the different, like things that we were doing has finally kind of died down. So it's been better. But before that was extremely hectic. Like when we were in St. Louis, we did like 3 bookstores, 1 public library, like 2 like tabling, and like 1 elementary school in like 5 days. Oh, and 2 media appearances. So it was just
Oh
like
my
insane. So I'm
God.
glad everything has died down more and I can, I guess, focus on school because I do need to graduate.
How long do
Yeah.
you have? Is this your last semester?
This is my last semester, senior year.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations. You're in the home stretch. Okay, you're
You're
off.
almost there.
You're
Very
gonna
exciting.
do it. You're gonna kill it.
Thank you.
That's
If
so
you can
close.
juggle like all of the pub day stuff, the release day, release week stuff, you can handle college. No
Yeah.
big deal.
You got
Thank you.
this for sure.
Yeah.
So, what we always ask our authors is kind of give us the elevator pitch of your book. And just like if somebody has never heard about it, tell us about it, pitch it to us.
Okay, I can kind of get started, and Vivian can chime in if I miss anything, because I feel like Vivian's always the one who's like presenting and everything, and she's
No,
so good at
Eugenia
it.
does a
So
great job.
I'm gonna try my best at this. So the book's about a girl named Lily. She's so mad. She hates the situation she's in, and she has to move back to Taiwan. And so the entire time she's thinking, this is not my home. She's experiencing everything that she absolutely just cannot get used to, and is overwhelmed just by all the culture shock. But hopefully through friends and family, she'll find out what homes means to her. And Vivian, anything else I'm missing?
No, I think it's perfect. How you turn a place into a home.
Oh, I love that.
There's a part where she's laying on the ground in a farmer's market, and she was just like a whole mood. She's just laying there, and she's like, "This is not my farmer's market," or something. She's like, "This is not." And it looks like her mom is dragging her out, and it's like I have been that child. Not like this is not my home, but like everybody's been that child in the middle of a grocery store where the mom is just like, "Get up, get up off the ground."
Yeah,
So she
I
was
think,
a whole
like,
mood.
me and Eugenia talk about it, and we're like, yeah, for some reason, every time a kid throws a tantrum or something, they always lay on the floor.
Yeah, like what does that do for you?
I can attest to that. I have dealt with many a tantrum like that.
So seeing it on the page was so funny because it was so relatable. I don't have kids, but I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and so it was so relatable. Like I was just looking at her mom like, girl, solidarity, sister. You can do it. You got her.
No. We had a lot of fun, like imagining what kind of crazy scenarios Lily would be finding herself into. We're like, what if like she was like squatting in a squat toilet with a lot of cockroaches looking at her? And we're like, are we allowed to put that in a picture book? Like, is that like child nudity? I don't know.
Oh, that's a
true.
good point.
So
Be
how
banned.
how did you guys come up with like the different, I guess, scenarios that Lily is in where she's like, well, this is not my home, and she's in a couple different places throughout the book?
Yeah, I think we actually came up first with the scenarios in like the United States or the Western Hemisphere that she will miss. So for example, like when we leave a place, me and Eugenia were thinking, okay, what would you miss? You would miss your friend, you would miss your school, you'd miss like things that you would go to, like farmer's market or like, I don't know, the park and stuff like that. And then we found like, what were the parallels then in Taiwan?
Yeah, no, I think it was a bit of that, but also just like putting her in scenarios where like, what scenarios would we hate being in? So like this thread here where she's like, oh my gosh, all this food. I do all the foods that I personally don't like in Taiwan. Like I love Taiwanese food, but like there's always that one fish that looks at you with its blank stare because it's dead.
That's
and then,
true.
I was like, I gotta draw that in this table. Like we're gonna throw Lily in scenarios that like we would hate being in, like if we were to go back for the first time. So a lot of that.
And you've both been back to Taiwan, right? So what is your experience? I mean, I feel like I remember you guys being fond of visiting Taiwan. How did we go from that to like Lily and not wanting to be in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think like actually it was interesting because I feel like when we both talk about Taiwan, like as Taiwanese Americans, we're like, we have so much nostalgia around like the food, the people, the food. And so like when we heard the story story of, we both had friends who had to move from like the US and Canada to Taiwan. I think we were just shocked by like the fact that someone didn't immediately love Taiwan. And I think that's kind of where like the story was born out of, our shock towards our friends sort of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's a little bit of like, even though we love Taiwan, love the food, love the people, everyone is so, so kind, and love the little alleys that have the noodle shop, and love the bookstores, and love the motorcycles. There's still stuff that like I personally like, oh gosh, I know the moment I exit out of Taoyuan Airport, the entire like humidity is gonna swallow me whole because it's so, so hot and sticky, and like I sweat through my shirt. So we were writing kind of like things we love about Taiwan and things we absolutely hate, and trying to incorporate it all in this book because we were like, we don't want to depict Taiwan as a tourist destination. We want like the full experience, like
The
truly like
real.
go to the temple and like seeing a giant Buddha. So the whole package.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of the situation, like for you guys, it was okay, well, we're gonna go on vacation here, we're gonna travel here, we're gonna see, but you have to look at it as like if you had to live there, all of the comforts that you would miss from here and from where you've grown up. And it's culture shock that a lot of people don't consider. Most people look at it as someone moving to the US.
Mhm.
You don't get a lot of stories moving out of the US and having to learn to live in a different place. So that was really a cool idea. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I've been
built the idea as like the term as reverse immigration. So it would
that's what I've been
reverse.
calling it as well. And
Yeah.
it's such a fascinating idea because like Mandy said, a lot of the times, especially in media and especially in Western media where we are now, like we have so many immigrants coming to America. You think America's the melting pot and people are always coming here. And to be able to see like the complete opposite of that is really fun. I thought it was such a clever idea.
Thank you.
No, I think like in some ways it really helps like humble us because we're always just thinking people are coming over here. But when you kind of like, I feel like at least because Vivian and I grew up in the States, we're like, oh, we can interpret ourselves as Lily more, and like
Yeah.
being thrown into a foreign environment and have to adapt. And it's just been like the reception has been so, so good because so many people have been coming up with their personal stories, and this happens to so many people, but it's just a story that we don't hear very often. Like mothers would come with their children. It's like when like I was young, I had like this experience and I absolutely hated it. And I don't know, I feel like it's so rewarding to just hear everyone's story.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
definitely.
Yes, so many people can relate. And that's hard to do. That's hard to get a lot of people to relate to a story. So kudos to you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I also love that it's like Taiwan instead of like the mainland because we get so much like mainland China or even like Hong Kong or Singapore. We don't get a lot of Taiwan in our media. And so I love that we're getting that representation. I hope y'all keep it up because it's just like, it's good to see more of us out in the world. Like, I'm not Taiwanese, but it's like, I love seeing it. I love seeing it so much.
Actually, like a lot of rising stars in the picture book industry are like Taiwanese. Like I don't know if you guys know like Joanna Ho is like eyes that kiss like in the corner. She's Taiwanese.
Joanna's Taiwanese? How did
She's
I not know
Taiwanese.
that? Oh my God.
Julia
I love her.
Kuo is also Taiwanese
Oh my gosh.
as well. And Julia Kuo actually graduated from our college. So it's kind of funny. We have that double.
Hey.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have. Joanna did a couple events over at Linden Tree, I believe, and my daughter has both of her books like signed, and she's so sweet. So yeah, I totally, I don't know how I missed that she's Taiwanese. So I think that's another problem. It's like we associate like Chinese presenting people as Chinese instead of like Taiwanese, even though distinct people. Like yeah, it's the diaspora, but still like, and I like being able to see that because like I know like for me I growing up we don't really see Asian people in the media, but when we do it's like Chinese people, so I've like, even though I felt on the outskirts, I still feel more like a part of it, if that makes sense. And so to have you guys come in here and throw out Taiwan and Taiwanese Americans and all of this, I think it's so important and it's so good that we're starting to see more of this in our media. And I hope that like, I mean, I don't want to put pressure on y'all, but like I hope you understand how important it is and how good it is to have this, and I can't wait to see what else comes from you guys. I love love this one.
Oh, thank you. No. I totally agree with you. I know what you mean. I remember when I was small, Fresh Off the Boat just came out. It's like the ABC sitcom, and it was the only time my parents ever let me watch television on a weekday because they're like, it's about a Taiwanese family. And so I think it does so much to be able to see like just people who are like you can relate to in mainstream media. I still remember it so fondly. So absolutely. Well, hopefully we'll keep going at it.
Yeah, definitely. And you two have you have a second book in your deal too, right? So we have more to come. Can you tell us anything about it? Or is it all hush hush, very secretive right now?
I think like you can expect us to write another like kind of a universal story. I think that's kind of the stories that me and Eugenia want to tell. It's kind of like, although there's kind of a niche experience per se, but it is a universal story at the end of the day that brings people together. And we also love family relationships, so there will be a brother and sister relationship in our next one.
Yeah.
Aw.
Hopefully it'll be a little funny. I feel like we gotta add a bit of our really strange half potty,
Humor.
half upset child humor into it. So we'll see what we can do. But really excited. We're working on it, and it's like, gosh, like how did we even do it the first time? I don't remember.
I know, me neither.
So I
No,
want to like, from what you do remember of it, what is it like to co-write? Like, do you ever creatively bump heads? And if you do, like, how do you resolve it and figure out like what's best for like the end result? Like, is that rough?
That's a good question. No, I don't know. I feel like maybe you can definitely add on to this too, but I feel like we're both very opinionated people, but we are also both easily swayed. So it helps us in a way
That
where
is so
there's, like,
relatable.
That is so relatable.
So relatable.
so easily swayed. You say something and I'm like, yeah.
It's not even like you say it with conviction. You just like throw away line and you're like, yeah, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely no. So Vivian would be like, I strongly think this. I'm like, I strongly think this. But Vivian would bring up like a really good point. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, what was I thinking earlier? Like, you got me there.
That's true. And I think it really helps because me and Eugenia have the same like baseline emotion and feelings when we go into like a specific part of the story, but we will represent that specific scenario differently. So then we kind of like choose the best option between the two. So it's kind of nice as well. Yeah. And we write this over Zoom actually.
That is so cool.
That's so fun.
Right on Zoom and Google Slides. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So Eugenia, you do the illustrations of the book. Do you do it all digitally, or do you like draw it out on paper and then you're like, okay, how do I put this into like the book format, digital, or what is it? Tell us about it, because I'm not creative at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Not artistic at all.
Oh, maybe. No, I do it all digitally. I wish I could do it traditionally. I feel like if I had more time and more patience, I definitely would do it traditionally. I love watercolor so much. But I do most of it on Photoshop, and that way I can kind of stick it in Google Slides and Vivian can look at it. It's like, no, that's not what we're looking for. Go back to Photoshop file, delete a few layers, and Vivian's like, that sounds right. So it's a lot faster to do it like that. But I feel like there is something really nice to analog medium that hopefully one day I'll be able to do. So yeah, sigh of sadness.
Just
For
the
sure.
ability to draw in itself mesmerizes me. So like, hats off to you, because I can't draw a stick figure. I can't draw a circle. It looks normal. Like
I think we
either. So
we had a conversation. Mandy and I have talked about it a few times where it's just like we're like in awe of and also slightly suspicious of people who can just draw and just have it be nice. Like
one of my nieces is that way, and I'm like, how she's like, she'll take a piece of paper and a pencil and she'll have like the most beautiful drawing, and it's like, how did you do this though? I don't understand.
It's literal magic.
How do you make this?
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm suspicious of people who can sing. So I mean, I think we all have our suspicions and talented people.
Yeah, that tracks too.
That's fair. That's fair.
I can't do that either. I'd break a window if I tried. Only Harry Styles and Ed Sheeran and I know what my singing voice sounds like in the car. Nobody else. Just me and Harry and Ed, and that's it.
Well, speaking of hot men, I'm
I didn't know
stealing.
we were hot-mended our book. I'm excited for this next question.
So this has nothing to do with the book.
No.
But we have a segment on the podcast we call Fictional Boyfriend of the Week, which is like a take on book boyfriend. And it doesn't have to be like a male person. It's
It
just
doesn't
like,
have to be in a book.
it doesn't have to be a book. It can just be like a fictional character that you would like to date or just has not left you, or you're just like obsessed with and will never
Or
stop
I want to be their
talking about.
bestie.
I want to
Yeah.
be their best friend. For example, I recently rewatched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I can't watch anything with Bucky Barnes in it and not be like completely insufferable for the next several
It's me with
weeks.
Loki.
So, do you have any fictional boyfriends, girlfriends, non-binary friends that just stick out in your mind that you're always like, you need to read this and or watch this?
This is the moment where you forget everything you've ever
Yeah.
watched, read,
Yes,
experienced. Like,
exactly.
do
It
I know what
happens
a book
every
is?
time,
What's a
so-
movie?
Don't feel bad if you can't think of anybody, because it literally happens every time.
You know
Because
what's really interesting? I actually don't consume a lot of media. For someone who's in media, I don't read. I'm really guilty of this. I feel like I should not say this, but I don't read many books, and I also don't watch many movies, and I
That's
don't watch
okay.
many TV shows. To be honest,
You're in
But
college.
I don't
That's
know.
allowed.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, for about like a decade there, I didn't like pick up a single book. Maybe like one every, once in a blue moon. And all of a sudden now I have a whole ass podcast where I talk about books
Yeah.
and movies and stuff. So it's like seasons of your life just are
I love
different.
that. I love that.
COVID
Yeah.
reignited me when I was like stuck at home. I still read I've read my whole life, but like when I was stuck at home, it was The Sims and it was books. All
That
the
sounds about
time.
right. That sounds
Yeah.
about right, honestly. But I don't know. I think my fictional boyfriend, it has to be 4 from Divergent. And it's because
Yeah.
Virginia's like, oh no. But it's because I
Oh.
grew up with Divergent. I grew up with the Hunger Games and
Yes.
Divergent series. That was like, I know now like people like different like fantasy and like I forgot what's that genre called again? Yeah, anyway, that whole genre. But that was like the
Four
one
is
I
a
grew up
good
with.
one.
And so it was like reading about 4 and then seeing like Theo James play 4 and Divergent.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a good one.
Ben! So I think he's like my first like celebrity crush in that character role, I guess. Like he was just so brave. I was like, yes.
Yeah. That's a
I
good
love
one.
that.
That
Oh
is
my
a great one.
I feel like I remember reading Divergent. I was like, oh my gosh, his name is Four because he has 4 fears. Oh, that's so like, what is that?
Yeah.
But I feel like I had a conversation with my housemate who we were like, oh gosh, like I feel like our whole entire perception of romance is so warped because the Studio Ghibli movies and like Whisper of the Heart and like Kiki's Delivery Service are like, oh darn, like this really just messed up small versions of ourselves because we're like, this is how it's gonna be like, and it really is not. So.
No.
For sure.
We set ourselves up for failure.
Kiki's Delivery Service was so formative in my younger years. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that.
Oh gosh, I really like the main character and the boy in Kiki's Delivery Service. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what like coming of age, like moving to a new city is gonna be like. But at least I don't know, it hasn't been like that yet. But
Look, I'm gonna die disappointed that no food I've ever had has looked or tasted like what I thought the food in My Neighbor Totoro looked like. Like it was so good.
True.
Nothing has ever stood up to what I expected. Oh,
Oh
Just-
my god.
now I want to
Really-
go. I just want to go have a Studio Ghibli marathon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
All
sure.
of the cuteness.
No, I'm pretty sure you probably mention this in your podcast all the time, but just so I can get like a little whisper, like who are your book boyfriends? I want to know.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're both big Marvel fans.
Me
But
too.
I am madly in love with Sebastian Stan. So literally anybody that he plays, my fictional boyfriend, even when he is
Even the
playing
killer.
even when he's playing crazy ass cannibal in Fresh.
You're like,
Like,
yes, eat
I'm
me.
sorry. I love him. He's so beautiful. So Bucky Barnes is a big one for me, as well as Clint Barton. I love Jeremy Renner as well. And then Wanda Maximoff, because I am obsessed with
Yeah.
Lizzie Olsen. I love her. I would marry her in a heartbeat, but she's already married, so that's not gonna happen.
Rude.
It's very sad. It's very sad. In terms of books, that's harder for me. I know Mandy has
have got
hers locked and
mine.
loaded.
I am an Aaron Warner girl from Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. God tier. He is the best book
God tier.
boyfriend ever. I loved Lorcan from Throne of Glass, Castile from, oh my God, why is it left
From
me?
Blood and Ash.
From Blood and Ash. And then I'm a Loki girl in Marvel and Harry Styles. And Tom Hiddleston, no matter what he does, Harry Styles, no matter what he does. Yeah, I'm just on Harry Styles talk now, and my husband probably wishes I wasn't, because he's like, just shut up about Harry Styles. Good God. He even, like, I had to show Karin a few episodes ago for Christmas. He got me a shirt. It's a long sleeve shirt that is Harry Styles tattoos where they would be on his
Oh my
body.
gosh.
Oh my God.
That's so intimate.
It's so funny. And Karin was telling me like a funny story about like a tattoo that he got on TV, and like I found it. It was actually on the shirt.
Oh my God. That's a really
Oh, the
great
things you can
present.
find on Amazon.
The craziest things. The internet is a wild place.
No,
I cannot believe that you didn't say Roma
I do love Roma.
and Juliet.
Roma and Juliet from These Violent Delights. I
I'm
also love
shocked.
Benedict and Marshall from These Violent Delights. I basically love everybody that Chloe Gong has ever written. I love Chloe Gong. I love her books. I'm dying because her next book is coming out like next week, and I just got an email today from NetGalley saying that I was declined for an arc, and I'm like offended. Like, how dare you? Do you know who I am? I am Chloe
think
Gong's
you need
biggest
to-
fan.
You need to write a strongly worded letter.
I know. I'm like, dang it.
Uh,
So yeah.
Yeah, those I couldn't believe that you didn't say.
You know, it's hard to
those.
think on the spot.
Yeah.
Everything left my brain immediately. As soon as Eugenia asked the question, I was like, let me look around. What's near me?
See, that's why I got my top two are ready to go.
That's
I
good.
know nobody's gonna top Aaron. So I know that Vivian, you said you don't consume a lot of media, but we have another question that we always ask that you may or may not have an answer to, and it's fine if you don't. What are some of your favorite or recent books or movies or anything that you've consumed recently that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this? Like, you have to read this, you have to look at this. Is it a textbook right now because you're in college? And Eugenia, you too. Same question.
That's funny. Actually, my 4 years I've been at school, I haven't bought a single textbook. We're just
Hey,
like, oh no.
That's awesome.
that is, you need to buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, that's amazing.
luck. Yeah.
Like, girl.
No, I'm supposed to buy textbooks. I just choose not to and use other resources online to learn my material.
You know what?
'Cause
That's just
smart.
That's just
And your
being
back
smart.
will thank you. Your
Yes.
back will thank you when it's not broken.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
That's funny. But I think my all-time favorite, like honestly, maybe media. Okay, I have two answers. The first is I love the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs book. And the first movie of
Oh.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Like when I was younger, I used to daydream like the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs scenario. I feel like how imaginative it is. It's so amazing. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it was a very formative book for me that taught me like essentially like the concept of imagination. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of basic, but I think my second piece of media I really love is I really like Avatar. I haven't watched Avatar 2 yet, but I really
That's
love
not
Avatar.
basic at
Like,
all.
That's
it was
no, I
my
don't think
first big movie I watched when I was younger because it came out when I was like 11 or 10. And so it was like the first movie, like actual movie I watched that wasn't Barbie. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
It's one of my
That's
niece's comfort movies, so
that's a
it's always
great
on in my
yeah.
house. Yeah.
That's a great movie to have be like
Mhm.
your first like major motion picture
Mhm.
that you like
Mine was Titanic,
viscerally
same
remember.
dude.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, James Cameron makes formative movies. If you think
That
about
he
it,
does.
two of the top 3 grossing movies of all time.
Yeah, for
Crazy.
sure.
Like an Avatar.
But people just have the it factor. That's all I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh wait, I have one more. Sorry. I love Interstellar. Oh my god. I have never cried more for
Oh.
in any movie than that. Like I came out and I was just bawling, and I don't even know why I was bawling. I was just crying for 3 hours straight. It was amazing. Like I don't even
My
understand.
husband didn't tell, like, I was asleep. I was half asleep when he put it on. And like, I woke up in a panic attack because it was so huge. And like, when you start in the middle of it, it's different. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm sweating. What is happening? I'm so stressed. And I had to watch it over, like, it's his favorite movie. I had to watch it from the start to not feel like this like immense dread from it. Because like in the middle, it's stressful.
Oh
No,
my god,
I
that's
bet.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, but literally, I was like crying. I didn't even know why I was crying. Like, I think it was the first time I was crying from a media source that I didn't understand why I was crying. Because usually it's like, oh, there's a really touching moment, but there was just like,
It
I was
was
just like
so
crying. Like, I don't know
beautiful,
why.
though. It's so beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah,
What
that's a
about you,
gorgeous
Eugene?
movie.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not as grand as Vivian's like Interstellar
I'm basic.
or Avatar. Those I've seen Avatar. I have not seen Interstellar. I feel like now I really should watch
I
it.
also I
You
haven't seen
should.
Interstellar either, so we can be in the same boat.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to watch
I'll
it.
watch
It's
it when you
good.
watch it.
Okay.
We'll like a little pack.
Yeah.
Um, but after I graduated, I started reading voraciously because I feel like I had so much more time in my hands. I feel like as a college student, I realized I didn't read that much. But I've been reading a lot of like books about people who are just very lost in life, like early 20s, like confused. So
That's a lot of self-insert, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get
absolutely.
that for
Yeah.
sure.
So for instance, Chemistry by Wiki Wing is pretty great. She's like a grad student, no idea what she wants to do with her life. And then The Idiot by, I don't want to say the name wrong, Elif Batuman, but is also confused person, doesn't know what she's really doing in her life, goes to Hungary, like takes care of children. It's fantastic. And right now I'm in the middle. My friend has been trying to get me to watch an anime all through college, and I just been flat out refusing. I was like, I refuse to watch anime. And I finally succumbed. But I watched the entire thing of Tatami Galaxy, and it's a book as well. It's originally a book, and it's so good. Oh my gosh.
That cover
Yes,
is
it's a
so
beautiful
pretty.
cover, and it's kind of like this person who's looking for the best college life that he can possibly live. And every single time he goes through this time loop, he's like, "Oh, I wish I lived my life differently. I don't think I did the best I could." And so, in the really end, he's really grateful to eventually like have lived all the lives. Like any life would have been better than not doing anything. So I feel like it's a really good message,
Oh.
and the writing is hilarious, and the anime itself is like just so vibrantly illustrated. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's my pitch for now.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
share that with
adding
my
that.
niece because yeah, she is I have twin nieces, they're 14, and one of them is like the biggest anime nerd you're gonna find out there. And so I'm gonna have to see if she's watched that and read. All right, I need the name again.
Oh, Tatami Galaxy.
Tatami Galaxy. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll love it.
She'll love it. Yeah, for sure.
She really will.
And if it makes you feel any better, we're in our 30s and still lost and confused and don't know what we're doing with our lives. So it's fine. It's totally normal.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You just like I was saying earlier, always look for the adultier adult. Like they find
There's always an
adult
adultier
and
adult.
latch on, they'll know what to do.
That's often what I'm doing with Mandy. I'm like, what do I do now? Mandy,
Yeah.
Mandy, help me. Help me.
Yeah. And then sometimes you are the adultier adult. My brother was like having like a bunch of doctor's appointments recently, and he didn't know. He's like a lot younger, and he's had no idea what to do. And I was like, you need to ask this, you do this. And then I would go home and it was like,
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like I have
What
a
was
very
that?
very specific adult skill set, and that's
Yeah.
all I can do. And then everything else I need
Yeah.
an adultier adult. So
That was
find.
I'm not a mom, but I went into mom mode, I guess, because I take care of my, like, two of my nieces live here half the time. And so it was like, I just went into that like mom aunt mode and was like, this is what you do. And then you go home and you're like, am I an imposter? I didn't even know I knew this.
So great life advice from us. Just find an adultier adult.
Yeah.
I love that. I
That
love
sounds
that
great.
so much.
I'll keep that in mind. That's so smart.
Well, find an adultier adult. Always wear your SPF every single day.
Wait, I
Every
just
single
started
day.
wearing sunscreen and it literally changed my skin. And I felt like
Yes.
I like I purposely didn't wear it when I was younger because I was like, oh, I don't need it. But now I started wearing it. I was like, oh my God, my mom was right. Like, damn.
I have like hounded my nieces so much that one of them told me the other day, she was like, yeah, it's just skincare in general. I'm like, you have to wash your face every night if you think you're going to see the sun. If you think that you're even going to peek out your window, put on your sunscreen in the morning. And she was like, yeah, I laid down to go to bed every night without doing my skincare, but then I just gaslight myself into getting up and doing it. And I'm like, I don't want you to gaslight yourself, but if you're going to gaslight yourself about anything, let it be about your skin. Take care.
That's true.
That's amazing.
But it is SPF is life changing.
It really is. It really is.
So listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you're under the age of 30, start a skincare regimen now with SPF every day. Reapply till you die.
Well, that's really catchy, actually. We apply.
Look, reapply till you die.
Yes.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I had a whole question and then I got distracted by talking about life
Sunscreen.
advice. Yeah, sunscreen and finding an adultier adult. And I'm just like, well, there it goes. That's another thing. If you think of something, write it down immediately because chances are you'll forget.
Brains don't function. This is not the same brain that memorized so many things in books and movies. And now I finished a book today. I couldn't remember when I was telling Karin about it. I couldn't remember half of the things that happened. It's like,
yeah, ask me something that happened this morning. It's like I have no idea. I can.
But
tell
a
you
useless
nothing.
song lyric from the 90s. My mom and I won trivia last night. Okay. We ended up at a restaurant where they were randomly having trivia, and we're like, we'll play while we eat, and we won a $20 gift card because we were number one.
That's great.
Useless knowledge, I got you. Knowledge that you actually need to remember things that I need to know now. The question that was in my head 5 seconds ago, gone.
Speaking of which, I remembered my question.
Yay!
I knew we'd get there eventually. I was just hoping it would be while we still had
I was just trying to drag it out until
All
you
right.
remembered.
You're the best. So both of y'all have been to Taiwan. Are there any any travel tips, any like places that we have to go? Like if we're going to Taiwan, give us the must
Actually, like
see.
off the beaten path, like,
And also if there's places that have really good food, because food is
we're very
everything.
food motivated over here.
Yes, very
True,
food
we are
motivated.
also very food motivated.
We don't want the fish that are staring
No,
from the drawing. We don't. I
not
don't
the
want
fish,
fish.
but other good food.
Yeah. I think maybe Vivian, if you have food recommendations, but I have perhaps a recommendation I think you guys as book lovers would absolutely adore. There's an underground station in the MRT station in Taipei. It's just an underground bookstore. It's like so long. You just keep walking and walking and walking. It's bookstore. It's one continuous bookstore.
I know what you're
It's like
talking
divided
about.
in different sections where there's like stationery and then children's books and then like cookbooks, and you just keep walking down. I think it's I don't remember which station's at, but if you look up like Taipei like underground as Leap bookstore, it's so like I spent a whole day there. It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that's all I would do. Why would you tell me that? I would just
I'd
walk
never
through
leave.
that.
I'd move in.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I love that. There's like this place in Taiwan. Taiwan actually has a really big craft scene. It's called, the Chinese name is called Xiaoxiong Mama. So I'm guessing the English version is like teddy bear mom, or like some sort of like Taiwan is very literal in this translation. Like it's not. Anyway, the point is you go there and there's like a lot of like crafts that already have all the materials together, and you just buy these individual crafts and you can just do a lot of crafts in that store. And actually, like, you could do the craft within the store and people will come and help you. And they have like crafts from like of course the usual stuff like crochet and knitting and stuff like that, but there's also crafts like you can make your own like apron or something like that. Like it's very like it's all
That
over
is
the
so
place, and it's just a huge
cute.
craft store, which is really fun. So I highly recommend for adults and kids. Like it's not just a place for kids, but I love that store a lot. And then also for like food recommendations. Oh, this is Taipei. In Taipei, there's kind of like there's a place, and there's a lot of like traditional markets, but my favorite one is in this location called Dongmen. So it's Dongmen. And in there, they have a really good like tofu pudding. So tofu pudding is just like it's really silky with like ginger sauce. So it sounds kind of weird, but it's like the most amazing thing in the world. Like every time I go back, I have to eat it. So it's in Dongmen, Dongmen, and you're looking for tofu pudding.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't even, yeah. Like you explained it so well, and I'm still over here like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good. Like mouth watering right now, just thinking about it.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to
so
go.
much.
I'm gonna have to go like get some like food over the weekend now because
Yeah. We
this
have
is-
read so many books recently, both Karin and I, that have featured like the main character is Chinese American, and like they went in on the food to where like it didn't matter if you were eating while you read the book, you were still starving.
starving. A really good one. Lunar Love by Lauren Kung Jessen was like, I went in after having eaten like a big hearty meal, and I snacked a bit, and I was still starving by the end of it. Like, I don't know what it is, but Chinese, Taiwanese, American, like people just know how to go in on the food because
we love food.
We love our food.
It was the same with Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley. Just insane soup dumplings, and just obviously mooncakes, which I got to try my first ever mooncake last year. Karin sent me some, and they were so good. I didn't tell you this, Karin, they made like a white chocolate mooncake in this. I don't think I told you that. They made like a dessert, like I think there was like cookies and cream something in it. Now that I'm thinking about it,
sounds so fascinating.
like they made one with like the lotus
paste.
Is it lotus paste? And then they had something else that was made out of like a bean paste. I think they did like multiple flavors, but the last one in their courses of was like a white chocolate cookies and cream style mooncake. I was like,
I'm just trying to picture that. Like,
oh my God.
I'm trying to reconcile like chocolate and mooncakes right now.
I know. Yeah.
Gosh.
Maybe the outside is like the mooncake texture, so like the flaky crust, and the inside is just like extreme, like white. It's like Hershey's.
Maybe it was
white
like
chocolate.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Chocolate.
I am fascinated.
You got to read it.
I will.
You got to read it, and then I'm like bake something chocolatey. If you don't want to do like chocolate mooncake, you can bake something, just anything.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, lots of food talk. It always ends with food with us. All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming and talking about the book and your writing process and drawing process and all of that. I really loved it, especially listening to y'all. Go ahead.
One thing we have to tell them is that we don't make the rules, we just enforce them.
Oh, yes.
Now that you've come to talk to us, you are legally bound by the laws of the Incoherent Fangirl that anytime you release a book, you have to come back and talk to us about it.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Next book with the
next
brother-sister relationship, we're gonna have to talk about that. So
2 years later, yes, we will be back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's so much fun. We would love to.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and both of y'all are so much fun. I love like your dynamic with each other is so like it's like, oh, it's so sweet. I love it. And I also really love this author photo y'all have at the end here. It makes me very happy.
No, Vivian wanted a distinguished professional like LinkedIn photograph that made her look so pretty. I was like, no, I have the perfect author photo in mind.
No, this is excellent. I love when authors don't take themselves too seriously in their author photos. It makes me so happy. I love it when it's just like things like that. Like so this one was very fun. I think it's amazing.
Okay.
I'm on Team Eugenia. We don't need the professional LinkedIn.
The great picture of Eugenia falling down.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you both so much. We won't keep you too much longer.
you
I know you've got a
guys.
lot going on.
So
Thank you.
But thank you for having us.
Yeah, we can't
It's
wait
so
for the
much
next
So much
one.
fun.
So much fun. Can't wait for the next one, and hopefully y'all come back to, Los Altos.
2025, we will be back.
Awesome. We're excited. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you
you.
guys. We'll talk to you
Absolutely.
soon. They're so cute.
How
You're right.
fun are
They
they?
do have like the cutest best friend dynamic.
Right? Their energy, they vibe off each other so well. They're
Yeah.
so precious. I adore them.
Yeah.
They're fun. I can't wait to see what the next book is. Brother sister dynamic makes it feels like it's gonna attack me a little bit.
Yeah.
But very exciting. That was so much fun.
I know.
And
That was
everybody
really
should go.
cute.
Everybody should go by This Is Not My Home. This cover
It's so
makes me
cute.
so
I'm
happy.
telling you. When I saw her laying in the grocery store, I was like mood.
The whole mood.
And I had to go to the grocery store today and I did not want to. As a 33-year-old adult, I decided my husband is sick. I talked about it last week. He loves Hamburger Helper. I was like, I'll just throw together some Hamburger Helper. It's an easy thing to cook. He'll be
Perfect.
happy. I get the ground beef cooked. I have no milk.
No.
It's like 7:00. So I'm like, I'll Instacart it really quick and it'll get here. They're like, oh, it'll be there by 8:45. 8:45? Cancel this. But it was like, well, I have to go. And I just wanted to lay down in the store. I wanted to be just like Lily and just be like, this is not where I want to be. Okay. This is not my home. It was not my home. I did not want to be there.
A whole
But
mood.
I got Starbucks. I put my order in and I picked up my Starbucks before I left. So that was fine.
Oh my God. I love it.
Anyways, I just saw her and I was like, vibe.
Yep.
Vibe.
For sure. Okay.
Do we have anything else or do we
We just
we're
have
anticipating.
what we're anticipating,
Right.
and then the spiel, and then
I forgot about the anticipation.
does that mean there's nothing to anticipate?
A
All
little
right.
bit.
All right, Mandy, tell me, what are you anticipating?
I am dying with a capital dying for the rest of you. Season 4.
Oh, when does it come out?
I think it's like March 9th-ish. I think it's in March.
Okay, so not too bad. You're not
Too
waiting.
long. I freaking
several
hate it
months.
though. I hate
Yeah.
that because why does it
either-
matter to you?
Yeah, it's either give me all of it at once or do it like a weekly thing, like regular TV.
I don't want that. I want it all at once. I got rid of regular TV because I hated having to wait. Netflix has never made me wait, and now suddenly, why does it matter if I watch 9 hours straight of a TV season, or if I watch one episode for 9 weeks? I've not canceled Netflix in freaking however long Netflix has existed. I've
Mhm.
always had Netflix. I'm not going anywhere, but it would make me a lot happier as a viewer. It's not like I'm going to watch these 9 episodes and cancel it. You're still
Right.
getting my money. Why not let me just binge it? I want to lay on my couch on a Saturday and be a vegetable and watch the whole season.
That's fair.
Is that too much to ask? I don't
Apparently
think
it
so.
is. Apparently it is. Netflix seems to think so.
So yes, I'm waiting for more you. I'm ready for Shadow and Bone season 2, which comes out next month as well. They keep dropping more teasers and previews, and my niece and I are fighting because she hates the Darkling. Has she read the Shadow and Bone books? No, she has not. She just loves Kaz Brecker, and she thinks that loving the Darkling will take away from her love of Kaz Brecker. I'm sorry. No. So she does not appreciate Ben Barnes, even though he's part of the trifecta that all women love Barnes men.
Mhm,
And I mean, Bucky Barnes, Ben Barnes, Barnes and Noble. That's all you need in life.
That's true.
She doesn't understand. I love him enough for all of us, so it's fine. But I'm ready for more Shadow and Bone. We've got Nikolai this season, which is my very favorite of all of these books. I probably am gonna go see Ant-Man tomorrow if Josh is feeling better. I'm gonna go on the record. He went to the med stop yesterday. He does not have COVID. He does not have the flu. He does not have strep. She said he probably just got his like throat irritated because the festival that we were at was at a fairgrounds. And so there was a lot of dust and dirt. So she was like, you probably just like have a little bit of allergies or like sinus irritation because you're breathing all of that
Yeah.
in. He's fine. He just doesn't feel good. So he's not like contagious and we're going to a movie theater to give everybody COVID. That's not the thing. But if he is feeling better tomorrow, we'll go see Ant-Man tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be Monday or Tuesday because he's got stuff going on this weekend. And I wrote weekend at home to just be because
I
it
feel that.
sounds like the twins are coming back on Saturday or Sunday, but I don't have to go anywhere other than to like pick them up. My husband's going to be occupied with his stuff all weekend. And so I'm just going to be a vegetable. I'm going to read. And after like a weekend of traveling and go, I just need a weekend to just exist.
I'm feeling that so hard. I totally agree. Just be
just exist.
Just exist for sure.
Without having to do anything.
Yeah.
What are you anticipating? Some time to exist?
Some time to exist, and I'm also anticipating our interview next week with
Yes.
I can't believe that I get to say this. Emmy award-winning production designer Darcy Prevost. Y'all don't know her, but you should because she's amazing. I love her so much.
The freaking coolest.
She is probably the coolest person that I know.
I tell her that all the time. You're literally the coolest person I know. Our friend Ashley is the smartest person I know. Darcy is the coolest person I know.
Darcy is so freaking cool. I also recently found out because I Googled her IMDb and she won an Art Directors Guild award for her work on American Horror Story, which is so cool. Like, I didn't realize that she had that too. So I'm just like,
And she did the Gilmore Girls reboot.
She did the Gilmore Girls reboot. She also was on the production team for The Fabelmans, which is Oscar nominated this year. And I was texting her. I was like, so does that mean I get to call you Oscar nominated and Emmy award winning? And she was like, no, don't do that. I'm not the Oscar nominee. I was just on the team. I was like, but you're an Oscar nominee in my heart.
The team is nominated then, and you're part of the team.
I'm just saying, you are an Oscar nominee in my heart.
Yep.
So I'm
She's
very
gonna have
excited.
An EGOT by the end of this watch. She's going to be an EGOT.
She's the best. Darcy is amazing. I love her so much, and she's so much fun. So,
have you been on her travel emails?
Yes.
I love. So for listeners, and we'll talk about it more next week, but when Darcy travels, she blogs it basically, but she sends out like an email blast of like what they did every day.
So cool.
The way that I look forward to those emails when she's traveling is like,
it's the best.
Yes.
Best.
She's so detailed that you live vicariously through her in the best way.
Yeah, it's like almost as if I don't need to travel. I just live through Darcy's travels. She's amazing. Y'all are gonna love her. We're big fans of Darcy. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get to talk to her. And that'll be our episode that comes out right before the Oscars airs. So that's also very cool. So yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. I'm really looking forward to sitting down and talking to Darcy. I didn't get to visit with her this past week while I was down there. So it'll be nice to catch up with her over the internet.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, so that's what I'm anticipating.
Very exciting.
I think that's everything. Is it time?
So.
It's time.
It's time for a spiel. We're delirious. We're both delirious.
It's been a week, and this has especially been a day. So
let's spiel it so you can unpack and I can go to bed, and it can just be a whole festive. Don't unpack tonight. Just go to bed.
No, I can't even see my bed, so I kind of have to unpack.
Just do this whoosh and knock everything off to the floor, and that's future Karen's problem.
Oh, future Karen's gonna be so mad at me.
Well,
it's fine.
Does future Karen have the day off tomorrow?
Yeah,
she'll be fine.
True. All right. Well, anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are listening. You can also follow us on social media. We're at The Incoherent Fangirl on Instagram and TikTok, at Incoherent Girls on Twitter, because Twitter is the worst. We don't like Twitter, but we're there anyways.
No. Boo, Twitter. You're the armpit
Twitter.
of the internet. We're the butt crack of the internet. One of the two.
Head on over and like our Facebook page, and then go to our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes, as well as read our blog, which has long form reviews for mostly arcs that we read, but occasionally there's some movies that we toss in there, and by we I mean me. because I sign up for all the things and I get invited to some things. So that's exciting. And then you can also subscribe to our Patreon. Go to the incoherentfangirl.com/Patreon to sign up. You could get early access to episodes, or you could get access to our YouTube
Our
video,
faces.
which gives you the video. You could see us being silly,
This
very
is
silly
the
people.
first time in weeks we haven't shown Saint's face.
No,
There
you
he
have to
is.
show him. He's like a staple
So
of the podcast
menacing.
now.
I know. I need to like make sure I have him on camera every week.
Yeah.
I am sorry, sir. You have a beautiful face.
It's a very beautiful face. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, concerns, you just want to tell us we're pretty or give us book recommendations or anything like that, you can send us an email at theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. We love hearing from y'all. So
Yes, we do.
please do contact us. And one more way to support the podcast, you can rate and review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. That would be absolutely lovely. And we love reading those as well.
Yes.
That'd be amazing. She is at
100%.
Mandy Perv on all things.
And she's at Ms. Made in China on all the things.
And once you have followed us as well as the podcast, you can head over and visit our internet besties. They're amazing. Go to
Yes.
herecomesthenerd.com. You can use code fangirl to get 20% off your first order.
So then after that, head to onceuponabookclub.com and use code Mandy10 for 10% off your order. Get some books and some gifts, all the things.
And while you cozy up with those books and gifts, you can also head over to grimoiretea.com and use code fangirlt to get 10% off your order. But remember, there's no I in fangirl. It's FANGRLTEA.
Look, and I mean, you're always going to need tea, right? And then there's never enough books, right? So head over after that. Once you've got your tea, get it nice and hot or I don't care. However you like your tea. I like mine with a lot of sugar. Head to amberdlewis.com and use code fangirl10 for 10% off your order. And you get books, you get stickers, you can get some art prints.
Lots of goodies.
All of the things. All of the
Lots of
things from all of our besties. You need
We love
everything.
them
We're
so-
here to empower you.
It's self-care.
To get these. It's self-care.
It's self-care.
Fun.
We're here to
Look
help
it
you
up.
with your self-care, okay?
Yes.
And save you money while you do it.
Yeah, obviously. I
Exactly.
mean, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And also thank you for listening.
Thank you. We love you.
We love you.
And that was
that's the Incoherent Fangirl.
We did it.
Yay, bye.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.